A Simplex converted to a Great Western Railway Prairie tank Part 30, the boiler backhead and turret fittings, plus a quick look at the blower and firehole door. The time has come to remove the boiler from the chassis. It's not fastened in position, it's just sat on there. But I think it's a good idea to disconnect the steam pipe fittings first. And with everything loosened, it's a simple job to lift the boiler off the frames. It's the boiler I'm going to be working on, but this time it's the backhead. Recently, most of the views of the boiler have been of the smokebox tube plate. This is the blower that I originally removed from the engine, and it has 3 holes in it. I would like to say something about steam blowers. As I've just said, this one has 3 holes in it, so that's going to use quite a lot of steam to blow a jet of steam up the chimney. In my opinion, based on experience, this blower does not need to have 3 holes in it. It's not the volume of steam that goes up the chimney that draws the fire, it's the speed. This blower ring is supposed to fit around the blast pipe as shown. I think I'll probably turn down the blast pipe to make it fit in order to try it and see how it goes. In a future episode I will show an alternative to this blower which in my opinion works a lot better. For now though, I'm working on the backhead. What I'm going to do is fit a couple of steam valves to the turret to start with, followed by the blanking plugs at each end of the turret and then the pressure gauge. The 2 larger holes in the turret are threaded 5/16 by 32 threads per inch, the smaller ones 1/4 by 40. These 2 valves are going to be the injector steam valves. This clip shows the first of the valves loosely fitted to the turret, and here's the second one also loosely fitted. If you regularly watch my videos, then you will have seen this operation before. But every engine is slightly different, so I'm going to show it again. Here's the usual Loctite 542 thread sealant that I use on every steam fitting that I ever fit to a locomotive or a stationary engine or whatever. When using brass fittings, it's absolutely vital that there are no steam leaks around the threads. There is one minor problem. I'm fitting 2 injector steam valves. The problem is there's only 2 check valves, one being for an injector and the other one being for the hand pump. So what am I going to do here? I have 2 inlets into the boiler, potentially a pair of injectors, an axle-driven pump and a hand pump, that is 4 check valves. More about this in a future episode when I come across the problem. Because of the way I made the turret, I now need to fit some blanking plugs in each end of it. A very simple job indeed, but once again I'm using Loctite 542 on the threads to prevent leaks, and also a copper washer. The blanking plugs are slightly different, but that really doesn't matter. That just leaves 1 1/4 by 40 hole in the turret. And what's going to go in there? Well, this is. It's a banjo union fitting. And it's for the pressure gauge. These really excellent siphons are from my friend Chris Lockwood at 21st Century Steam. And that reminds me this is the very last one I have, so I do need to order some more. Here is something quite important. Whenever you fit a pressure gauge, always support the square section of the pressure gauge with a spanner before tightening the union nut with another spanner. If you don't do that, you can actually damage the casing or even crack the glass. That's because the casing of the pressure gauge is connected to the square bit that you're screwing into. Now it's time to fit the 2 check valves into the bushes on the backhead. These check valves have a 5/16 by 32 threads per inch thread, and they're designed to use 3/16 of an inch diameter pipe. Nothing special here, fitted in exactly the same way as any other steam fitting using Loctite 542. This clip is taken from a video a while back when I repaired a Speedy type locomotive. This check valve wasn't very old, and look at the state of it. When I touched it with a pair of pliers, it just fell to pieces. So what's happening here? Well, the corrosion is excessive, and it's caused the brass to do something called de-zincify, which makes the fitting very brittle, very weak, and quite dangerous. And that is why I'm always very careful when I attach fittings to a steam boiler. And should I see a leak on any of the fittings, I immediately rectify the problem. Any leaks on fittings over quite a short period of time will destroy the fitting. So that's the 2 check valves fitted. There's a bit of a mark on the right hand side one, but as the entire backhead is going to be painted black, I'll touch this in at the time. Here's something interesting, I haven't forgot about it. What about the firehole door? The door hinge and the latch need fitting to the boiler. How am I going to do this? Well, obviously I could drill a couple of holes each side, one for the hinge bracket and one for the latch, but I really don't want to do that. It's a pity no one thought to put bushes in the boiler first, as it was being silver soldered. But never mind, I have a plan. I'm going to make a brass fitting that loosely pushes into the fire hole. A word of warning here, if you make a fitting that pushes into the fire hole, do not make it a really heavy-duty fit, because if the fit is too tight it could stress out the solder joint around the fire hole. I'm going to make something that looks like this, although I don't need to make the door, I just need to make the fitting. And here's this particular fitting in action. It was part of a small coal-fired boiler and it was very successful. I'll make that in the next episode, and until then I'd just like to say stay healthy, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists you can actually watch the videos back to back.